So I'm going to invite all of the conference planners to come back up on the podium. We have, just in case you forgot, we've got Shirley Johnson, we've got Joan Porter-Mabe, and we've got Daniel Sock. We are all proud as peacocks of this year's conference and of what has been presented here. No, it hasn't been perfect. We recognize that. And no, we have not covered every single topic that we could have covered regarding sickle cell disease. In particular, some of you might be upset that as physicians, you were expecting to hear more about the clinical care of patients with sickle cell disease. And this was not a clinical care conference. This was supposed to be a conference where we talked about the global community and overarching approach to making sickle cell disease voices heard. Somebody says they thought the conference was awesome, well thought out, educationally informing. They were inspired, and they think I'm okay. And I think that you can say that about all of these folks. Everything you just heard Mary talk about, the volunteer spirit, the need to be informed in your approach, the inclusivity approach of having multiple voices and no I in team. I think all four of us, and I'm saying this to you guys, all four of us have demonstrated a can-do and team-oriented approach. We have been working, this is our third year working on this, and we have worked to the point now where we sometimes forget whose idea it was to do certain things. And that is okay, because it's us, we did it. And so I'm gonna ask each of you all to kind of throw a little nugget out there about what you got out of the conference, what you want to do now that we've taken over Rome. How do we get the rest of Italy? Or you can just talk about what stood out to most of you. Shirley, why don't you start?
So I really did enjoy having the guest speakers. I thought virtually they did an outstanding job, and they were able to kind of help us bring the content home. We really worked hard in trying to organize it in a fashion where we started with the clinical piece and then worked our way throughout the 4 days. So there was really a good approach to how each topic had been related to something previously or something that was moving forward. I cannot thank enough this team and all the work that they've done. A lot of behind the scenes time that, we're a small group. We don't have money to, really, pay to have the real marketing campaign and stuff. And all of that was done by members of this team. And I do want to give a shout out, who's not on camera, is our CME officer, Kimberly and Barnett. And she was excellent in helping us put this together and keeping us all on time. And we are going to kind of ask you something before you leave, but I'm going to turn that over to Daniel. He can kind of say his ideas about this. But thank you all very much for coming. I love seeing all the familiar faces, and I like seeing all the new folks and knowing that there's so many new people who are joining the sickle cell bandwagon around the nation. So thank you very much for that.
Joan, why don't you go, and then we'll let Daniel wrap it up.
Believe it or not, I don't have a lot to say, even though I usually do. I am honored to be a part of not only this team, but that team out there. And it's always a highlight of my year to work with them, even though I'm very part-time. But this is a time that my husband doesn't understand it, okay? But it's special to me. I'm honored to be a part of this. I've been involved in the sickle cell community for a good long while, and I've just really been excited to be here. And I love hearing from you guys. So I really thank you for participating, especially late on a Friday afternoon. So thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I'm really grateful to be able to work with a group of people that are so engaged and that are so caring about this disease. Although it affects a really small amount of people, it's really meaningful to be able to make a difference in all of these patients' lives. And what touched me the most during this conference was how engaged everyone was, how open about their experience, and how willing they were able to share their personal experiences, ask questions. And it really opened my eyes to the need for this type of platform to be able to help educate and help share the knowledge that will accrue over time. And speaking of which, we're thinking about planning the next year's conference. Therefore, we want to get your opinion about what your preferences might be, whether or not you want to be in person, virtual, or some version of a hybrid model. So if you could please go back to pollev.com/VCU/CME and let us know how you would prefer to participate next year, just so that we get an idea. Thank you. Do you have anything you want to say pertaining to this?
Yeah, I think hybrid.
Well, this sort of lines up with what I expected.
Okay.
I think that we've had a culture shift that we likely will never have another CME conference of note and of any size that is not hybrid. At least it doesn't offer a virtual attendance option. You can thank COVID for that.
Yep.
But I think what's happened is that we've had a culture shift. We can do medicine now virtually.
Virtually.
Certainly we can do work virtually.
For sure.
So why not do conferences virtually? And if you want to come, you come. And maybe you come 2 days a week to work and you work from home 3 days a week. So I think that's where we're at, and I think we'll start planning towards that. That's probably going to be the mode of the future. It is just as much work to do a hybrid conference, maybe more, than to do a virtual conference.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to get ready.
Yeah.
And we will get back to you with how this is going to look. There's lots of other things we won't go into now about curriculum and how we're going to change the curriculum, but we really, really want to thank you for joining us, our team, and the CME office. I want to remind you now, you got a little bit more work to do. We want you to complete your evaluation, claim your CEU credits. The evaluation is for the entirety of the event, and it will award continuing education credits for all 4 days. So you get to do that. We also have a post-test. We will not get to go over the results of the post-test for today, but there is a post-test for day 4. So we'd like you to complete that as well. My congratulations for those of you who were able to hang in for all 4 days. I know what's going on. You can't be in front of the camera 8 hours a day for 4 days and try to work. That's just impossible. But thank you for the part of the conference you were able to be here for, and for your attempting to be here for 8 hours a day for 4 days. If you made it, then maybe we'll send you something special. If you could show us that you were in front of your camera for 8 hours every day. I might send you a little gift. Thanks, guys, for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you next year.
Yeah.